Hello, guys, and welcome back to our YouTube channel, Sharang and Sharvari. So, as Sharvari and both Sharvari and I have mentioned, there are areas where our interests converge, and therefore we make interesting videos for you guys together. However, there are certain areas where our interests do tend to diverge. One of them being religion, in my case, and for her being things like makeup and beauty-related topics, amongst other things. So, shout out to Sharvari. I hope she's doing well. And however, right now I would like to pick up the Bhagwad Gita where we left off. I took help of Sharvari to explain to us in a very interactive way the historical context. And I think we were at the first shlok of the first adhyay. For those people who are a bit confused, this is the latest video in the series. So I have uploaded all of these videos pertaining to the Bhagavad Gita in one playlist titled Bhagavad Gita Decoded. So it would always be it would aid understanding if you guys were to watch them in a chronological fashion, because that's exactly how I shall be proceeding with the Bhagavad Gita. So last time that at the time of our last video, we were describing how the Pandavas and Kauravas are assembled in a battlefield, and without further ado, we shall proceed with the second shlok of the first adhyaya of the Srimad Bhagavad Gita. Sanjay Uvacha दृष्ट्वा तु पाण्डवानिकं व्यूढं दुर्योधनस्तदा आचार्यमुपसंगं राजा vachanam bravit. Sanjay said, O king, after looking over the army arranged in military formation by the sons of Pandu, King Duryodhan went to his teacher and spoke the following words. So Duryodhan, the king, went to his teacher Dronacharya and began to speak to him. Uh, he said, Paschaitam Panduputranacharyam Macharya Mahatim Chamuma Vyudham Drupadputrena Tava Shishyena Dhimata. That is, O my teacher, behold the great army of the sons of Pandu, so expertly arranged by your intelligent disciple, the son of Drupada. Um, so in ancient times and even today, the army, of course, the strength of the army in terms of the total number of men fighting for you matters, but what also mattered then and matters today is the exact formation in which those men are fighting. So something from history has come down to is the Roman phalanx, where men would interlock their shields and march in a turtle or sometimes some other formation towards their enemy. And this defense would be formidable, and this would allow infantrymen to achieve great success, sometimes even against foes who would outnumber them. So similarly, there were in ancient India as well. People would be arranged in different military formations. One of them is something known as the Chakra Vyuha, which is a particular arrangement of soldiers in the battlefield. What exactly it is explained in the Mahabharata, which is not part of let's say the scope of this particular series. Suffice to say, it's a military formation. Uh, Atra Atra Shrura Maheshwasa Bhimarjuna Sama Yudhane Viratascha Drupadascha Maharatha. So here in this army, there are many heroic bowmen, equal in fighting to Bhim, Arjun, great fighters like Yudhana, Virat, and Drupada. So there are different categories or different honors which are bestowed on a warrior in ancient India, and the highest honor was Maharathi. And it is said that only a Maharathi had the skills necessary to penetrate inside Chakravyuha and come out unscathed. Um, Drushta Ketushchakitam Kittanam Kashirajascha Viryavana Purujit Kunti Bhojascha Shaubhyascha Narapanda. So there are also great and heroic, powerful fighters like Drushtaketu, Kekitana, Kashi Raja, so the king of Kashi. So even in the book Bhagwad Gita, which is around, some say, 5,000 years old, even in such an ancient book, there's still the king of Kashi. And Kashi, of course, is one of the holiest cities in all of India. Purujit Kunti Bhoja and Kaib and Saibya. You युधामन्युश्च विक्रान्त उत्तमौजाश्च वीर्यवान सौभद्रो द्रौपदेयाश्च सर्व एवं महारथा. That is, these are the mighty Yudhamanu, the very powerful Uttamaja, the son of Shubhadra, son of Draupadi. All of these warriors are great chariot fighters. As I mentioned, Maharathi. Rath in Sanskrit is the chariot. Mm. अस्माकं तु विशिष्टा ये तान्निबोध द्विजोत्तम नायक मम सैन्यस्य संज्ञार्थं तान् ब्रवीम तान् ब्रवीमीते. That is, for your information, O best of the Brahmanas, let me tell you about the captains who are especially qualified to lead my military force. Uh, भवान् भीष्मश्च कर्णश्च कृपश्च समितिञ्जयः अश्वत्थामा विकर्णश्च सौमादत्तिस्थैवश्च. There are personalities like you, Bhishma, Karna, uh, Kripa, Ashwathama, Vikarna, the son of Somdat, called Purivasa, who are always victorious in battle. So essentially, in this, Duryodhan is also describing the various people who are fighting for them. Now, the story of Ashwathama is a very interesting. It is said that during the battle of Mahabharat, what Ashwathama did is that he unleashed the Brahmastra on the unborn child of I believe Draupadi. But basically, he unleashed the Brahmastra, which is a deadly weapon, against an unborn child. And Ashwathama, it is said, was born with a blessing that he was born with a jewel right between his eyes. And for this most unforgivable and heinous crime of attacking a child who is yet to have been born, his jewel from the middle of his forehead was ripped out, and Krishna basically cursed him. Krishna, the Bhagwan Krishna, in whose honor we are reading the Srimad Bhagwad Gita, cursed him to roam the earth forever, bleeding from this gash or wound between his eyes. And this story reminds the story of Ashwathama. It is said that Ashwathama still wanders the earth seeking for some kind of medicine for this wound. And this story reminds me of the story of Cain and Abel. So, for those people who are unaware, Cain and Abel were two brothers in Christian mythology. It is said that Abel's sacrifices were favored by God. However, Cain's sacrifices were not favored by God, and God was not rewarding Cain's sacrifices. And this led Cain to get jealous essentially of his brother, and he approached God and asked him, "Hey, God, why do you reward Abel's sacrifices, but you do not reward my sacrifices?" And to which God in fact got angry at Cain, and he said, Cain, that look, sin has crouched on your doorstep like a predatory animal, and you have let it in and have its way with you. So essentially, God blamed Cain for not for his sacrifices not being good enough, and he said, "You can't blame your brother or anyone else." And then, in a fit of rage, Cain killed his own brother Abel. And for this great crime, Cain was cursed by God to have a mark on his, I believe, his shoulder or somewhere on his body, which would be known as mark of Cain. So, according to Christian mythology, Cain was the first murderer in human history, and he was cursed to roam the earth as an immortal man forever. So he was forever condemned by sin. And I think in the psychological or philosophical context, this reminds us of the way we are haunted by our own conscience. I think we have all experienced this sometime or the other, right? That conscience is a very weird thing. It is on one in at one go, some would say that it is a part of our own consciousness, but then why are we bothered by a part of our own consciousness? It's a very weird thing. Like, let's say you do something bad, you know that you're doing a bad thing, your conscience will begin to haunt you. It will continuously tell you, hey, what you have done is wrong, what you have done is wrong, what you have done is wrong. And if the act that you have done is bad enough, then it will rob you of your sleep, it will rob you of peace and quiet and happiness, and it will make your life a living hell in just inside your mind, because you betrayed your own conscience. And later in the Bhagavad Gita, it talks about how every man should follow Swadharma. Swadharma is the path of dharma that is manifest to us, and essentially it's the path of our own conscience. So I think the story of Ashwatthama, or the story of Cain and Abel, is a story of how we should always follow our own conscience. We should avoid doing those things which violate our own ethical and moral code, and walk that path, because the consequences of not doing so are that we shall be haunted by our own conscience for the rest of our days. With this, I would like to conclude this video. I urge you all to like, share, and subscribe, and keep watching. There are many more videos to come in this series, where as I take you guys through the Srimad Bhagavad Gita. Jai Shri Krishna.